Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hotel Dropout. It has been, I think, 1 week since our last episode. We've been quite busy, and I think today I will be joined by Bernard and we'll be talking about relationship dynamics. You can also find us on Spotify as well as on our Patreon page for exclusive content. Like and subscribe, the usual, you know it. So, what's been happening with you, Bernard?
Well, you know, I actually made a recorded intro earlier, but Jamie thought it was not good enough, so he decided to just do one himself.
There's a production value to maintain.
All right, sure. But we are here to have an authentic experience. We want
Hmm.
to try to have as much of a parasocial relationship to the listeners as possible so
Indeed.
that they keep coming back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were talking earlier. You were talking about transitioning. So let's.
By the way, you don't hear any background noise coming from me, right?
No. Much better than when we played video games.
You know why? It's
Why?
because the background noise cancellation on Discord works way better than the in-game chat system of all the video games we've played, which
That
is
makes
basically
sense.
peak.
Right.
Yes,
The game doesn't have any noise cancellation built in. I don't think so. Like you.
exactly.
Oh my goodness.
You're cracking the code.
Well, but
You're
then
starting to believe.
okay, so I have noise cancellation on Discord, but I also have noise cancellation on my OBS input filter itself. So
Mhm.
does my audio quality seem fine? Like, does it sound good?
Your quality is always great.
Aha, I knew it. Like, a being in a carpeted room makes a huge difference.
Is that so?
Yeah. Because when I was recording back in Taiwan, when I was editing, I could really hear the echoing. And then when I do it
No.
here in this tiny, it's a much smaller room, but with carpeting, and it's superb. I sound like studio
Okay.
quality. Right. So
Yeah,
what?
I mean, no, your volume and your voice quality has always been great.
Oh.
I feel like it's really more of a me issue.
No, I think you're fine. Like which microphone you end up getting? Because I remember laying my hands on your microphone when we were in Croatia, and that was a really good one.
Yeah. Okay. So let me check what it's called. This is called the HyperX Solo Cast. Did you
Aha.
hear that?
Yeah. Because we had it hooked up to my iPad,
HyperX.
and I listened to the raw files, the raw recording, and it was really good. I think it's better than my Sennheiser now. So you just need like
Yeah,
a.
it's so the brand is called HyperX, and this one that I have is called the Solo Cast.
Hmm.
I got it for like 50 bucks. I'm very satisfied with it.
No shit, really? That's how much my Sennheiser costs as well. Like around $50.
All right. I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't you bring us up to speed with what you've been doing this week?
Hey, man. You know, I've. This is the second week of me working with my uncle. So basically, I finished my last job, and most other people that I know are going on holidays and stuff. I had one weekend, and then I started working straight away.
What's it like working for family again? Because that has to be a very big departure, right?
For now, it's not too bad. I mean, I'm mostly delivering stuff, so I'm on the road on my own most of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Some days on like big deliveries, I have assistants,
Oh.
but yeah, but most of the time I'm mostly alone, and it's all right. I mean, it's just me. I get a lot of time to think because it's an older car.
Yeah.
So the radio is still on the FM system because most radios now are using the DAB or some kind of technology like that, where you can be in the tunnels and you can still be connected to the radio station, right?
Wait,
But
really?
the FM system,
In Taiwan,
yeah.
it's FM and AM. The
Hey, hold on.
those
Yeah,
really.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Let me Google that real quick so I don't. Yeah, digital audio broadcasting.
Uh-huh.
It's a it's a new standard, DAB plus.
Oh, that's interesting.
Um, yeah, but so with that you can still be connected. Even maybe okay. So somebody who's expert in this maybe know better than me, but like maybe I'm just crapping out my mouth right now. But as far as I'm aware, due to my I'm not an expert in this, and with my limited knowledge, um, this is the new system of how radios operate,
Uh-huh.
and this is an older car. It's an older delivery vehicle, so it's on the FM system, and the connection's not as good. So that means every time I'm going through tunnels, I turn the radio off or I just mute it,
Okay.
and sometimes I don't always put it back on after I leave the tunnel. Sometimes I'm just lost in my thoughts, and I'm just
Do
going through the motions,
oh,
and I'm reflecting a lot about my last my experiences until now, and I realize I have an issue. I'm making too many mistakes, and it's small things, but it's annoying things like
in
I
delivery?
leave my wallet somewhere. No, no,
Oh.
it's just stuff where you just don't think about things and then it happens.
Well, I mean, you must cut yourself some slack. You're sort of still in the adjustment period. It only makes sense that you're making some tiny mistakes here and there.
I feel like I relax too much. Like it's like I'm home and I just went, oh, and I dropped all my luggages,
I,
on my metaphorical luggages on the floor,
this is so
and
funny.
I'm just what?
Look, this is funny
Why?
because I feel like your Asian genes are fighting your European genes. You know, the European side of you is like, "Oh, let's relax," and then the Asian gene is like, "I have time to I have time to think about it. I've concluded something is wrong."
Yes. Well, I don't know if that's anything to do with anything. I think you can still be critical and
Yeah.
very self-critical as an European, and you can still be very chill as an Asian.
All right.
So yeah.
I was gonna interrupt you earlier because there is a. I think I can buy it on Amazon. I'll show you. I'll send you a link. It's a little device that you plug into the where the cigarette lighter is. You know, in the old car. And it's a radio transmitter. Basically, what it does is it connects to your phone through Bluetooth, and it then broadcasts that into a very small into a custom radio wave that then your
Mhm.
car can pick up on. So it's kind of like think of a radio wave coming out of your, the phone and where the device is, and it connects to your car. So the good news
Okay.
is that you can then through that you can listen to whatever's playing on your phone. The bad thing is, if anyone tunes into that frequency, they can hear what's going on in your phone if they're close to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I
but
mean, it depends on what you're listening to, right? Because
exactly, and you
could be
can
a nothing burger, but it could also be like 50 Shades of Grey, hardcore edition.
even that. I doubt anybody would go something that hardcore when they're driving.
How do
But
you know?
in any case, you can set your own like your radio. The signal. You can set it to a very obscure number that people would rarely stumble upon. Right.
Yeah, true. It's an
Mhm.
option, but I remember. So sometimes I listen to audiobooks, right?
Yeah.
And I dabbled into erotica audiobooks.
Oh, what's that like?
Yeah, well, it's not so bad until you accidentally have it on your phone, like as an autoplay, and then your phone automatically connects
No.
to the uh, speaker system, and then
Yeah.
it starts playing that audiobook, and you're
Oh,
like,
good
oh
lord.
shit, stop, stop, stop.
What? What? these eroticas, do they come in specific accents?
It depends.
Hmm.
Some of them have multiple voice actors.
Yeah.
Some of them have just the one.
Like, I'm sorry,
Uh,
I don't, I can fathom like a very sexy Spanish or Italian accent, but I cannot imagine someone speaking in like a, let's say, a Japanese accent, but in the context of erotica. Like, that doesn't work. Or is it just me?
I mean,
I don't
it
know.
depends on what you're listening to, right? I
I guess
mean,
so.
sometimes they make it work. I don't I don't know how to explain to you how they make it work. Uh, and sometimes it's just what it is. You get what you get.
Hmm. All right.
And it
Well,
depends on the flavor you like, right? I mean, yeah. And I would just say the best voice actor I've heard is not an erotica voice actor. It's actually from this book series called Dungeon Crawler Carl. And at some point I'm gonna start re-listening to the book. There's like 6 books out there, and I listened to 5 of them. Bro, if you have nothing to do at some point, I really, really strongly recommend you to check it out.
yeah, I don't know why I never finished it. I listened to the first one. Uh,
Oh, so you did start checking it out, right?
yeah, yeah. And then I remember something. There was raining. And then there was something about a dog. I don't know if he was talking about
Dog?
his dog. Anyway, like it was the
I
first.
think cat.
Okay, yeah, it was this first episode, and he does. So I get what you mean. Like he does have a really epic voice.
Yes. Oh my god. Insane.
But wait, okay, wait. Circling back to audiobook erotica, like what's the? Can you explain like what's the fun in that? Because it's not something you masturbate to, right? So it's a very
No.
it's a different way of consuming it. Like different from, let's say, pornography, or different from like erotic novels, for example. Like I feel like it's very different. So what itch does it scratch? If you're like speak as if you're trying to convert me.
I mean, I guess it's just like a fantasy. You're indulging in a fantasy, but it's not about getting off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're just
It's like it's about immersion then, like immersing yourself in that fantasy.
well, I mean, it's not exactly that you're immersing yourself. Blah, I can't speak anymore. Um, right. Don't take my word for it, but like, I just, um,
It feels like
I don't know.
you're
I
struggling to explain.
yeah, because I can't really find the right words to say, because I guess I was curious. Like, I really enjoyed the few audiobooks that I was listening to, right? And then
Uh-huh.
I stumbled across a free version of an audiobook of an erotica.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more just satisfying my curiosity than
Uh-huh.
than like going for it for a specific reason. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
I see. I see. Well, you know what? You have piqued my interest. There is a book called The Song of Achilles, and apparently it's a really touching romance. Like you're supposed to cry. You'd be like, a lot of people have been bawling by the end of the book. So I think I can find an audiobook version of it, listen to it, see how it is.
Or so it's an audiobook version of a erotica
Oh, I don't know.
that
I
is
don't.
very emotional.
No, no, no. Sorry, it's not really an erotica. It does have erotic elements, but the
Uh-huh.
majority of it is romance. So I'm gonna try.
Right.
I feel like that's a good starting point.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, and I would say that the fact that you are listening to somebody say the stories, it depends on how the production quality of it, right?
Hmm.
Because sometimes they got really, really strong production quality, where they have like sound effects. They make different voices for different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really depends.
That's really interesting because the past few weeks there have been like joke, kind of like documentary videos made by YouTubers on or like on TikTok, and it's these guys kind of poking fun at some of the top selling books on Amazon, including audiobooks, and it has to do with so like the top selling books among women. And what they found,
Oh,
yeah, we're
I
like,
think I know what you're talking about, like the
yeah,
book talk kind of
yeah.
books.
Yeah. No, no, no. Like,
Yeah.
it's all about like a relationship with some mystical creature, right? Like it's the
Yeah, some of them are like mm,
it's a little
what's the
much.
right word?
Um, daunting, avant-garde.
Some of them are exploring taboo. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, we as a species, we started fantasizing about vampires, right? Like dating vampires. That's the ultimate cliche, right? Because it's always there's still that appeal of man, but he is a monster. And then now we fully entered the bestial realm. Okay, so there are books about dating how do you pronounce it? Minotaurs, right? Minotaurs.
Minotaurs. Yeah, I think I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yes, centaurs, you know, these that
Isn't that like my something like morning milking
correct. Yeah,
farm or
yeah, yeah,
something?
yeah. There are
Morning glory milk farm or something like that?
explicit content on milking them. Oh man. Uh
I mean, hey, like to each their own, no kink shaming, all
mhm.
right?
Oh no, on the contrary, I am very excited by it. I want to see what's it all about. Um but yeah,
I think it's interesting, like because it's not like it's a minotaur where it's a man body and like cow legs and like a dude face with hooves. This is full on minotaur where it's like a cow.
exactly. Like in the past, there's some anthropomorphization, right? Like you really, there's the furry, the whole furry niche. So there was an emphasis on making them look like a human being, but now we've fully entered the age of just love them for what they are. I guess
That's that's one way of saying it. Yeah, I guess.
sounds pretty interesting. So let's move away from uh middle-aged women loving flicking their beans, to erotic novels of dating minotaurs,
Jesus
to
Christ.
my exhausting week of just going through all the I need to make a video about like bitching about this job hunting shenanigans. Oh my god, Bernard. The amount of aptitude tests that I've had to do. And there was one like there was one that a test that I did on I think it was last Friday. Oh my god, it's one of those logical tests, they show you different patterns. So you imagine like a big diamond shape. Within it you have ellipses, you have octagons, and then a triangle in there, and it's arranged in such a way that you're supposed to deduce the next pattern. And in the demo version, like they let you do like a little demo test, and the demo test is
Mhm.
very simple. It's one line, one triangle. Okay, so the next pattern is most likely a triangle with a line running through it, right? Uh,
Okay.
and I kid you not, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I could do this. That seems simple enough." I hit start. The first question, I kid you not, it's like fucking trying to decipher a QR code. So you imagine like a QR code, and then the next one is a very complex kind of geometric, a very what's that word? Like like a pattern that looks like a kaleidoscope. And then you're supposed to like decipher what would happen next. Is it the difference between the two pattern, or is it the progression? It was so difficult.
Yeah.
Like I was
I,
exhausted by the end. And I feel like I was tricked. I feel like the job listing so I found out later on what happened was that it was an entirely fake job listing. It's a
What?
yes, it's a scam, and there are these companies that basically sell these aptitude tests, and then they need to sell when they're pitching the solution to companies, they need to present data, and one of the many filthy ways that they collect these data is by posting fake job listings that are copies of existing job listings, and then like
Oh no.
I kid you not, like, dude, so there is a company called DNEG, which is a very famous animation company that's based in both France and in the UK as well as Canada, I believe. And
Yeah.
they so I saw the job listing from them, but it was not them. It
Mhm.
was another company posing as them, and the logo for the company just ever so slightly is a different tint of the same color. I
Ah.
was fucking scammed, right? So and I felt so stupid because I wasted 2 hours on that. I should have been like, this test is getting too difficult. Why is it so difficult? And then I realized it was only after I talked to my friend that I realized that I had done 3 tests for 3 separate fake jobs. My goodness, man, I was so angry by the end of it.
Uh,
I was pissed off.
unbelievable, man.
But yeah, welcome to job hunting of this century. And another thing that I want to bish about is that companies nowadays literally so they would have actual job listings from the past, but once the job has been fulfilled, they never take it down. They keep recruiting people, right? And it's a good way of kind of fake projecting to your investors that hey, business is booming.
Yeah,
We're
shareholders.
actually
Yeah.
yeah, we're actually in expanding and stuff like that. And if you look at most of the job listings on LinkedIn, on Indeed.com, you'll see that a lot of these companies are like, "Oh, we are experiencing unprecedented growth." Blah 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 stuff like. It's always the same, man. I'm so exhausted. I've just got to keep going.
Same.
All right,
I
yeah.
I mean, we can have a whole topic regarding that, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, the plight of modern day job hunting. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's get into today's topic about relationship dynamic. So I have prepared a few questions because I was reading up on several articles. So just as an intro
Mhm.
to this, right? I am a an introverted individual who was a was maybe still is a what's the word the attachment style, like I'm very insecure, right? And oh, did the call drop?
No, no, no. I
Oh,
still hear you.
okay. So I had the problem of loving my ex, perhaps more so than he loved me, and not in an objective sense, but almost in a sense of kind of like almost like I'm diagnosing myself, that I feel like it was very unhealthy, that the whether I love myself was almost perhaps contingent on how much I perceived my ex to love me. And in doing so, I had to I felt like I just felt like there was a power dynamic that I was definitely, overpowered. I was in the lower bracket and I was loving my partner more so than he loved me, and it was very it was challenging times. So I thought we would talk about this, but in your context, and then what's something that single people out there like myself could learn from you, or what some what other newly dating people could also learn from you. Does that sound interesting?
I mean, when you say learn from me, do you mean like from me?
Yeah, in terms of your experience.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if there's anything somebody would can learn from me, but all right, sure. But first of all, I want to ask you, right? We spoke in one of the earlier episodes when we just started the podcast about the 5 different love languages.
Uh-huh.
And I just want to ask you first. Now, think about this, yeah? Was it really that you loved him more than he loved you? Or was it just a miscommunication on your love language?
Mm.
Are you sure there was this balance there, or was he showing you his love language in a way which was important to him, which was maybe not as important to you?
That's a very fair
And
question. Yes.
how do you know that your love language was not something that he valued less? Do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, I understand, and there is a point there. But before I get to that, can I just point out how professional we sounded just now? You're like, do you remember in our past episode about this and that? You mentioned like, it sounded like we're a real production, which is really good.
I mean,
I'm happy about that.
if it sounds like that, then great. But I'm just throwing back to an earlier episode. And listeners, if you're
Mhm.
new and you haven't listened to it, maybe you should check it out. uh,
Okay, so what you're essentially asking is, was there truly a disparity in how we loved each other, or was it perhaps that the way I show my love language was not may not have been fully appreciated, or vice versa? Like maybe he was showing me,
exactly.
right? So uh I think both I think there was both, right? I feel like in parts that his love language was quality time, uh yeah, quality time above all, perhaps. Whereas
Yeah.
for me, um I value quality time as well, but I think I was struggling in the long distance context. It
Mhm.
feels as though like I just want to be next to my ex. um and for me, I think a big part of my love language, something that I really love, was acts of service. And so
Mm.
being far apart from your partner, it's very difficult for acts of service to happen, right? Like you're literally just not close enough. Um so yeah, there was that, I feel like that was this mismatch of love language was perhaps, uh 60%, and I would give 40% to the fact that I saw his presence in my life more importantly than, because I just feel like we approach love in a different way, I suppose. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. How about you?
Well, look, I had a really difficult time when I was not in Switzerland, when I was also going through the long distance relationship
Mm-hmm.
with my current partner, because of also what I asked, right? Because she's somebody who's more physical touch,
Mm-hmm.
and also she's not very expressive verbally,
Yeah.
but she shows up, she does things. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Uh-huh.
She'll go out of her way, she'll cancel her own plans to be with me, to spend time with me. And I really appreciate that. But of course, it's really hard when you're in a long distance relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And for her, she's not somebody who needs constant attention or validation, I would say.
Yeah.
And when I got with her, a lot of the traumas of my past, which I thought was healed, turns out it wasn't healed. It was just deeply suppressed.
Mm.
And and I always told myself the hallmark of a great relationship is when two people do not need each other, but want each other to be involved in their lives.
Yeah.
And that was not me. I
Mm-hmm.
I went completely obsessed with her. I It wasn't that I'm happy with myself and she's the cherry on top, which how
Yeah.
I always believe it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was more like my day revolved around interactions with her. The when I lacked interaction, I
Yeah.
would be sad. When I heard something from her, I would be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And And I was not okay with being by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I took everything very personally. When she didn't reply, I would think, oh, did I do something wrong? When she's stressed out with her school and her study and her work,
Yeah.
I would think, oh, am I stressing her out? And I realized that all these things was putting additional pressure on her. And I hated that feeling that I'm the cause of her unhappiness,
Yeah.
because I want her to be happy. I want to be a source of happiness for her. I don't want her to think like, oh, I don't want her to relate stress and pressure with me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Can I confess
And
something?
yeah,
Uh, when when the both of you were there, like visiting the UK, I was because leading up to us meeting up, we had talked about similar things that have happened to you, and at that time, I first of all, I didn't think there was anything wrong. I just felt like you were kind of behaving in a very hypersensitive way. I noticed that you picked up on a lot of like social cues that were not necessarily apparent to you normally. Like things, it felt as if there were things that you don't usually pick up on. Like you were very attuned, you were very vigilant, and when we eventually did meet up, when you guys did visit, I was a little scared of how you were behaving because of it. Just I kind like it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. I was just kind of scared a little because you were behaving in a. It felt like I was seeing a new side of you, if that makes sense. I was seeing a different side of you, and that was kind of, it was a little scary. Yeah, it was a little not scary, but it was just a little uncomfortable, I guess.
on one hand, yes, I understand. But on the other hand, how long has it been since we saw each other as well?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
People change over time. I mean, your main personality stays the same, but at some point your beliefs starts changing or developing. And I don't believe I was the same person as I was 7 years ago. And 7 years ago, I wasn't the same person as I was 7 further years ago, right? 7 further years earlier. And I think in 7 years' time, I'm going to be different than I am today as well.
yeah, I
And just
mean,
because we keep in contact online doesn't mean that we don't change.
yeah, I guess
You know what I mean?
I felt like you've always been very consistent. And I have noticed the way that you have changed, and Dan has changed throughout the years. I just mean that there was because I was never really there with you when you were engaged in a serious relationship. I guess that's the same that goes for each of us, right? Like I think we have only ever been friends with Dan whilst he was in a serious relationship, whereas your last relationship and as well as my previous relationship, we were living in different places. So I guess I was just kind of not shocked, but like I felt like, oh, okay, I was seeing a different side of you that I had never seen before, right? Because it I wasn't there when you had your first serious relationship.
No, wrong. You are fake news. I knew Dan before he got married. I knew Dan before he got engaged.
But yeah, in any case,
And also, you knew me before I got into a relationship. You knew me before I started dating.
mm-hmm.
Wrong.
No, but seriously, you know what I mean. Like I felt like it was kind of, it was a new experience, I suppose.
I
And
guess so. Yes, you didn't see me when I was around
you,
somebody I
yeah,
loved.
your previous, and
Yeah.
so that
And
was
also, I must admit, sorry to
yeah.
overspeak you here, but I must admit, I do get very defensive of the people that I care about.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, I'm also extra sensitive because we were visiting my parents. And you remember what happened, right? In the past?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I
Yeah.
felt like I was in a I felt like I was in in you know those like you know those Asian drama channels, you know, like in you have those in Vietnam, in Indonesia, in Taiwan. It's like a
Yeah, like
it's
the
and it
telenovelas.
exactly, and it's always like something really funny and really dramatic, you know, like depicting sort of the family drama or love. Like I felt like I was in one of those episodes, you know. I felt like there was like a background, you know, there's live audience going, did he do that? Oh my goodness, that was fun. I
What
liked
do you
it.
mean going, did I do anything?
No, 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 not you, not you. But the moment that I pissed your mother off, oh my goodness, that was tense. That was really tense.
Oh, welcome to my childhood, my friend.
Yeah, but you know, I almost felt like because I had pissed her off before then. There was something that I did that irked her, and if it was just between me and her, it was fine. You know, I felt like oh, it was I just apologized and I move on, and it was okay. But for
Yeah.
some reason, when you guys were involved, I felt like, oh my goodness, this can't get any worse. How do I like? I was trying to think of ways to de-escalate. I was like, what do I do? But then I very quickly learned that you know it's best to just shut up for a while. It'll cool down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I tried to ask her like what the issue was, and
Yeah,
she never confided.
maybe it
She
was
just
maybe
said, just let the past stay in the past and
yeah.
left it there. So it's
It was just in
so
the moment.
anyway, whatever. This is a different topic.
Yeah,
Um,
but wait,
but the point is,
yeah.
because we were straying. The point is, I also started thinking about the question if I love my partner more than she loved me. But
Hmm.
then I thought about it, and it's like, no, she just shows it in different ways. I'm
Yeah,
more just because I'm more expressive with my words,
yeah,
and I say out loud, I express out loud my feelings and stuff. Doesn't and she's less versed in doing that. Doesn't mean she cares any less.
yeah.
She just does it differently.
Yeah, which leads me to my main question, right? I was gonna ask, if first of all, I think it's established that you and your current partner have different love languages, right? And
Yeah.
is that something would it make a difference to you? Like honestly, would it make a difference to you if she has the same love language as you? Is that better? Is that worse? Or does it not matter for the
I
long
don't know
term?
if that I don't know if it's better or worse. I don't think there is no better or worse. I
Hmm.
think it just makes it easier. I think if you do have somebody who has the same love
Hmm.
language, right?
Yeah.
You're both on the same wavelength and it's just easier.
Hmm.
But what I have to say is if you truly care about somebody and you believe in them and you know they believe in you,
Yeah.
then both of you would put in the effort for it as well, you know?
Correct. Yeah.
Here is the moment I have to link in the different attachment styles as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
There is no better or worse attachment styles. And if anything, I would say she's not like it's a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
You have extreme ends of the attachment styles, and then you have like, oh, you're showing symptoms of it. But I would say she's leaning more towards avoidant, where I lean more towards attachment, anxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I have to also start to say to myself, like, remember when I mentioned I said like I take things too personally,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that I revolve too much things around her. I also started to ask myself, like, okay, you know what? If she needs space, then just give her space. I need to be okay with myself. I need to be okay with being by myself.
Your solitude.
Well, I, I don't know if solitude is the right word, but like I got to be okay with me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said, she has to be that cherry on top. That doesn't mean I love her any less. That doesn't mean I don't think about her or anything,
Hmm.
but I need to be okay with me.
If you were to put yourself in her shoes now, let's imagine now I'm talking to your partner, not you. What do you think would be her answer on this same question? Would she say that, oh, I think Bernard should be more okay and at peace with his lonesome, or should she, or would she say things like, oh, I perhaps would make more of an effort to mitigate the loneliness that my partner could be feeling? Like, what do you think her answer would be?
I don't know, but I do know she's also really hard on herself.
Cri-
And I know she's very understanding and
Yeah.
she's very patient and she really pushes herself.
Hard on herself or
If I were to
critical?
make an educated guess, because
Mm.
you can never really know for sure,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
only thing you know for sure is your own thoughts. And even then, sometimes you don't really know yourself.
Correct,
You
yeah.
don't know sometimes why you feel the way you do unless you really dig deep down into the root of it.
Yeah.
But if I were to make an educated guess, I would say that I think she would say that she would try
Mm.
to reach out more and she would try to express more, contact me more and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I thought about it and it's like, I'm fine. I also want time for myself as well.
Yeah.
Like I think it's good the way it is. I How do I say this? I like that I have time for myself and I like that we get to see each other more now. I would like to see her more often,
Yeah. You
but
can,
I don't
right?
think
I mean,
I can.
you literally have a car.
No, I don't.
Oh.
But I can take the train.
Ah, okay. I mean, yeah, it's Europe. I mean, you guys, you're
Yeah.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah. I mean, but she's busy. Like she got the work, she got her two part-time jobs, she has her studies, her university, and she got really a lot of things to do. And I she needs her time and she needs her space to
Mm.
do all these things. And the fact that we get to see each other once in a while every weekend and stuff, I'm okay.
I think every
Like,
weekend is quite often. That's good. No?
well, it won't be every weekend.
Oh,
For now, it has been every weekend.
yeah.
But there will be some weekends where she's got work and I want to go visit some of my friends.
Mm.
But once I move to my new place, will be a lot closer. And she has a key. She has a copy of my key, so if she miss me and she has time, she can come by.
Mm. It's nice. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, having your own place makes a very big difference. It's like kind of like a place for both of you to feel like you're at home. So that's
yeah,
nice. Okay.
I would
Right.
say so too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on
Oh,
to yeah.
one sec. I just remembered. For some people who just started listening and don't know what the five love languages are, they're basically words of affirmation,
Mm.
quality time, spending
Yes.
quality time with each other, giving and receiving gifts, physical touch, and acts of services. Just a quick recap for those
Did you say
of you.
affirmation, like words of affirmation as well?
Yeah, words of affirmation,
Right,
quality time,
right.
receiving gifts, physical touch, and acts of service.
Okay. And can you
Oh,
remind us of
also,
attachment styles?
Yeah, there is the anxious attachment style where you need constant validation and you're always seeking that connection.
Mm,
Like you feel very insecure, so you need constant approval.
yeah.
There's avoidant where because you are feeling so intense, the emotion so intensely, you start to feel overwhelmed by it. So you in and how you deal with this feeling of being overwhelmed is that
Yeah.
you need more time for yourself. And
Yeah.
then there's the secure relationship attachment style, which is you're okay with yourself. Sometimes you feel a bit of each, I guess. Sometimes maybe you need a bit of space for yourself. Sometimes you would like a little bit of affirmation, but generally you're all right. And when the people come, you accommodate them. You're not blocking them out.
I remember
And then
reading.
there's the chaotic, right? Or what's
Oh,
it called?
really? There's a chaotic attachment style?
What's the one? The disorganized?
I
I think
thought
it's called disorganized.
I thought it was just the three. There's the
No, it
anxious.
was the fourth one where it's where you're bouncing between anxious and avoidant.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's anxious avoidant. There's a dash in between.
Anxious avoidant.
Which
Yeah. Apparently there are subcategories.
yeah, yeah. And by the way, like which anxious avoidant is something quite different entirely as well, right? It's the
I have no clue.
I think it's having first of all having like the existing anxieties that you've talked about in having like an anxious attitude towards your relationship, and in instead of addressing these anxieties, you turn to avoid them. Whereas like
The best of both worlds.
yeah, I guess so. You know, it's funny enough. Like I remember reading that book about this attachment style, and then it said that uh, those who are deeply confident in their attachment style are very rare. They're usually kind of like a unicorn, or they're a sociopath, like a murderer or something. That
Jesus.
it takes a literal malaise in the psychic to be this confident. So don't feel bad if you are on the side of anxious or avoidant. I know I'm very like I'm still working on not being as avoidant because that's something I definitely do.
Yeah. But
Oh,
there's nothing wrong with being either anxious or avoidant. It just means that you have some issues that you gotta work through.
yeah. You know, there's something really interesting about like how I so when I was in uni, I had a crush on this other person, and even though we were very close, it was very it was clear that we were not dating, like we were just friends, and I felt as if I was kind of experimenting my own dating style on him, even though we were not dating. And for example, like whenever we would have some kind of clash, some kind of argument, I remembered when I was courageous enough to apologize first, mostly because I knew we were not dating. There's something that makes it easier because we're just friends, right? We're not really romantically involved. So it was easier for me to apologize. And almost every time I've done that, like I feel very good about it. I feel that whenever I do step outside of my avoidant, comfort zone, it usually ends well. And I really should be doing that more.
Mm.
Right. In any
Do
case,
you?
uh do I feel
No, do you do it more? Even though you feel like you should?
well, I have no one to do
Yes.
it to now. I don't have anyone to
Mm.
do it to. So I hope I would. I hope I would. I mean, I feel like it definitely a lot of lessons had been learned about myself, and quite frankly, I have a much bigger dragon to slay, which is something we might talk about in the future. This has to do with depression and just I guess a lack of motivation with surrounding life because of the zeitgeist. Anyway, topic for another episode. I want to move on to the next point, which is
One sec.
oh,
Before you move on to the next one,
uh-huh.
I just want to drop a little cool thing which I found out recently. So you know about introverts and you know about extroverts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what an ambivert is.
Oh, that's really cool. Like ambidextrous. As in somebody who
Yes.
flip flops between the two, because I certainly feel that
Well,
way.
it's not that it's flip flopping, but
Mm,
it's more like they are more of a mix of the two.
right.
And I always thought I'm an introvert, but I can be quite extroverted at the same time sometimes, depending on the company I'm around and the mood I'm in. So I think actually I'm neither an introvert or an extrovert, but it's more that I'm an ambivert.
I feel that way too. I think this has to do with our personal backgrounds. I think you and I have both had to kind of move between schools. You and I have
Mhm.
both had to move between different, just moving countries, like adapting to new cultures, and plus the sort of hospitality school that we ended up in, kind of would force you out of your shell no matter what, right? Like I also had the
Oh,
what?
I mean, there were some people who stayed there.
I guess so, but it was a sink or swim, and we'd rather swim, right? Like we had that kind of instinct to because we didn't want to be alone, and on top of that, I feel like it happened naturally. Like we just met some really good people. Uh, so
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was always very selective on who I choose from my circle anyway.
you got that Benny filter. It's been working since
I ain't got no time and energy for things beneath me.
all right. Uh,
So yeah, you were gonna move on to the next topic?
yes. So um, let's talk about uh whether you mind, like, okay, do you mind or does it bother you if your partner, because we were talking about like how do we know, how do we cope with loving our partner more than they us, and one of the signs that according to the article I'm looking at is to do with your partner making plans and decisions without you. And is that something, first of all, let's not talk about whether your partner does it or doesn't do it. I don't feel like we need to disclose this, but let's just talk about how you feel about this. If do you feel like it would be right for you to make plans and decisions without your partner? And if they had done the same thing, how does that make you feel?
For myself,
Yeah.
no problems.
Mm. So you're okay with them making plans and decisions without you?
Yeah.
As
I
long
mean, they got their own lives. It's the thing. Everybody got their own lives. I have my own hobbies. I have my own circle of friends. She has her hobbies. She has her circle of friends. She doesn't need to ask me for permission. She doesn't need. I don't need to ask her for permission. If I want to do something and I want her to be involved in it, I'm gonna ask her if I can be if she wants to be involved. If she tells me she's gonna do something and I would like to be involved in it, I ask her if I can be joining it.
Yeah. Sorry, I think the question is more about things like, uh, would you mind if your partner made plans and decisions on your behalf, like for the both of you? Like, let's say,
Oh,
yeah, for example, like they,
no, I don't mind.
okay, like you be okay.
Like, if we're gonna go somewhere to do
Uh,
something, and she already has an idea of what she wants to do and where we're gonna stay and stuff. For me, it's no problem. She can do it. She's competent. She's good enough, and it saves me the hassle.
if you're married, right, can your wife
Yeah.
make financial decisions about your savings without your consent? Like if they took your money for investments, let's say things like that, or like moved it to a different bank, or shifted your finances around. I'm not talking about like stealing or nothing crazy, but just made decisions about your money without your consent.
I've been thinking about this topic, right? Because I
Yeah,
think talking about money is also super important in a relationship. And on
especially
one
now,
hand, what?
especially in today's world, I feel.
Yeah. On one hand, I believe like there should be a shared account for shared expenses.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, I believe that each individual should have their own savings as well.
Yeah, yeah. I
Personally, I don't care. Like my partner right now knows the pin to my card.
mm,
Like she could literally take it and go spend. my money,
No, she can't do
which
that
I
without.
believe she would
But she can't do it without
never
your
do.
card.
Yeah, but if she needs it, I'm just gonna give it to her.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's on you then.
Yeah, but like it's my decision, and if I ever get taken advantage of, which I don't believe would ever happen, because like I trust her. Like,
Yeah,
dude, like she like I trust her.
that's
And
good. That's
what
good.
is a relationship without trust?
Yeah.
She hasn't given me a reason not to trust her. Uh I don't think she will ever give me one.
Personally, I feel like this sort of this trust that I don't know if this is gonna sound kind of toxic or pessimistic, but it does feel to me that when I'm still young, I I find it easier to trust. Like if the relationship is still early, trust can come by easier. But if this were a marriage of 20 years from now, and you have significantly more money, you have more real estate, you have portfolios, you have kids involved, and then maybe there's some kind of, you know, uh, like lots of complicated things have happened, right? Then it becomes a little trickier, right? It becomes a little trickier.
Yeah, but with all these complicated things, I hope it's things that you have already discussed with your partner
Yeah,
about, and that you and your partner have made an joint decision,
yeah, yeah.
right? Because the way you say it, it sounds very imbalanced. Like, yeah, no, it's not things where one or the other makes decisions.
Hmm.
You got to talk about it together and work on it together.
I know, but my point
The
being,
fact that you're already at that point is already in itself an issue.
well, my point being that, I was thinking of an imaginary couple that have been married and been together for decades, and then they've been through infidelity, they've been through a loss of kids, they've been through like a lot of things. Life has thrown a lot of things at them, and they've become wiser, they've become, they understand themselves a bit more, and then more is at stake. Let's say if
You
children.
mentioned infidelity though.
Yes,
You think that's not a deal breaker?
I think it depends, right? Like some people could
How
tolerate.
so?
So, for example, you know, if it's a physical cheating, right? There are legal systems in place that can help you end the marriage contract. But most of the cheating that actually happens in marriages are emotional cheating, and it hurts just as bad. That no physical act of infidelity has happened, but you just know that either your husband has been very emotionally close to this other woman, or your wife has just been talking to this other person that they've been very close to. So my point being that infidelity can come in so many different forms that are not necessarily easy, as simple and as straightforward as a physical act of cheating. You know,
Let's zoom in on this emotional cheating for a
yeah.
bit.
And then so wait, let me carry on
What do
as
you
well.
mean exactly by emotional cheating?
Okay, so
Just because if you're soulmates with somebody,
yeah.
like let's say me and you have a husband, but we are still friends. Where is the line that it's emotional cheating and where is it not?
Oh,
Is it
it's
when flirting is involved? Is it just you sharing things with me instead of sharing things with your husband? Like, what is the line? I mean,
uh
different people have different tolerance. We can
exactly,
say that.
exactly. So
Yeah, but
so
where
so
is that defining line that this is emotionally cheating?
okay, well, so imagine if I'm married to my husband, but you and I have shared romantic interest in each other, unbeknownst to my husband, and then we get quite intimate in terms of what we talk about. It not
Okay,
necessarily.
so it's the intention of intimacy, right? So it's
Yes,
like
yes.
flirting, it's like writing things like, "Oh, I miss you so much. I wish you were my husband,"
It may not
and stuff
be
like
it
that.
may not be as straightforward as that. It could. it could, like, it would hurt as much for my husband if, you and I were talking more about like something really in depth, so something very personal to ourselves. Like, let's say, imagine, oh, I'm a person who doesn't really share my trauma, and I used to share my trauma with my husband, but then I've stopped doing that, and I'm now doing it with you, and then this would
But
feel like
then some
emotional cheating to my husband.
yeah, okay, but then if I were your husband, I would like to know why. What changed?
Hmm.
Because
Ex-
I don't believe you just stop sharing things with your husband unless maybe you felt like you weren't being listened to, or
exactly,
maybe you
exactly.
experienced that your husband just um, belittled you for sharing your trauma,
Yeah, yeah.
or
So wait.
gave you the feeling that he didn't care or stuff like that.
Yeah, let me finish my point. Like, my point was actually
Oh,
that
sorry.
my point was actually that the breach of trust could come in different levels, right? The ultimate level being, oh, you actually fell in love with somebody else, you had sex, and you breached the marriage contract, stuff like that. But then there are like so many minute variations of different levels of breach, and let's say, okay, let's say this has happened. Emotionally kind of cheated on you, and then we reconciled, and then you get back together. So I mean, like, in life, a lot of these little breaches could happen. It's not always going to be a perfect union. Things will come, things will test you. And so for that reason, like, I feel like I err on the side of, hey, let's have separate finances when it comes to that, because not because I don't trust you, but because relationship itself can be so complicated and so unpredictable that out of love, I would rather we both have a bottom line, to protect ourselves against the very real requirements of life.
To that, I think first of all, the same can happen if your partner suddenly passes on. What are you gonna do with that?
Hmm.
Like, so yes, I think it's important that each individual have their own savings, but
Well, that.
regarding the breaches, then regarding the breaching of trust, I think it's also where you should properly communicate
Hmm.
where your boundaries are,
Yeah. Yeah.
and hopefully your partner respects that. And if you for some reason don't know where your boundary is, then should there suddenly come where a situation happened and you were not comfortable with it, first of all, does your partner know that you're comfortable with it or not? If they don't know, is it really their fault? And if they know and they purposely breach that boundary, then it's out of malice, isn't it?
Does
Because
it
they know
does it
and they
make it
did it.
does it make it hurt less if they breached your boundary unintentionally versus intentionally? Like, wouldn't it
Of
kind
I
of?
don't think it makes it hurt less,
Mm,
but I think um,
it is still slightly
you
better
can you
than.
can still you can it still hurts. Of course, it
Yeah.
still hurts, but there's no malice behind it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I guess knowing that there is malice behind it almost kind of makes it sickening. Like, it's almost kind
Then
of.
it's not, then it's intentional, and then
Yeah.
it's harder to forgive.
Oh, but oh my goodness, I am so fucked up by Hollywood movies that I feel like I would rather my partner intentionally do something to hurt my feelings. So let's say my partner intentionally cheat on me, as opposed to my partner didn't mean to hurt me, but it just happened. I feel like that hurts more than, than if than if I was involved. If there was hatred, if there was something going on, because at least that then
Why?
they still kind of care about you enough to hurt you, as opposed to the
No,
alternative is that they care about you, but not as much as the new person that they're getting with.
I mean, I'd rather not. If they knowingly breach my trust, why do I still want to be with somebody like that?
True, true. All right. Oh, what do you think of speaking of like separate finances, what
Yeah.
uh, have you thought about when when I've been trying to push this idea to everybody I know, having separate bedrooms. You can spend most of your time in the same bedroom if you live together, but I mean, like, it would still be like I'm for the idea of each of you having your separate bedrooms in the house, even if you're not
I
gonna.
think it's yeah, we I think you spoke to me about this before. I
Yeah,
don't know if it was during a recording or if it was just during a private conversation. I think
it was on the train, I think.
oh yeah. We what else did we talk on the train about? Because I think we talked about quite a
Mm,
bunch of really interesting stuff.
quite a lot, yeah.
But anyway, I think it's good to have as an option.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes in life, uh, maybe there's kids involved, maybe due to work, different schedule. It's different schedule. Somebody has a night shift, somebody has a day shift. Um, Sleep sensitivity. I think it's harder for those who are easily aroused, not aroused, but awoken.
Yeah.
So maybe it might be better to sleep on separate beds depending on your life situation.
Yes.
But as long as it doesn't affect the quality of sleep for my partner and there's no negatives for her, I think I would prefer spending more time with her, and that would mean sharing the same bed.
Mm. I think as long as you don't like weaponize it, right? As long as you don't be like, oh, because of this argument, I'm now gonna sleep by myself, as a sickening form of punishment. I think that's fine. Like I think there,
I
there
mean,
there are some people who do it by necessity, like light sleepers, potentially me included. But
yeah.
the point, my point, almost being that it kind of is a good practice to have to sort of constantly remind yourself that you shouldn't take your partner for granted.
I mean, I think you should constantly remind yourself not to take your partner for granted, regardless if you have separate rooms or not. But
But
having, like I said,
it's
having separate sleeping spaces, uh, I think it's great to have as an option depending on your life circumstance.
yeah. I feel that
And like you said, it shouldn't be weaponized.
yeah.
Just like how I know some relationship weaponize intimacy. Like if anything is weaponized in a relationship, I think it's toxic. And if it's a toxic relationship, I think you should really ask yourself twice, like, why
Mm.
would you put yourself through that?
I feel that sometimes I have a fear of which is a very irrational fear that if I could just sleep next to my partner every night and day in day out you're always together, that eventually I would take them for granted, even like a slip of mind, like the unconscious, right? You know how like throughout the day we don't think about how we brush our teeth, we don't think about how we make our tea, we don't think about like we don't contemplate how we put on our shoes and go do something.
Do you
The
not?
No, no, no. Like the subconscious, when you sink into a routine, the subconscious take over. And my point being
Mm.
that when your partner becomes your routine, the subconscious takes over. And so it's not necessarily just like I feel like if I'm, take for granted is too specific because a lot of times just by not really contemplating about it, it kind of is taking them for granted, to various severity, right? Like it could be something very small, but it could also be something very bad. So that was the whole point
Mm.
of just not forcing myself to not be used to it, to not be like, hey, I don't get to have this every day, you know.
Instead of taking such extremes, why can't you do the same like with how do I say? Why can't you do the same without having to put yourself through that? I mean, why can't you practice gratitude without having to put yourself through abstinence?
Well, you definitely
Because you're
can.
essentially essentially saying you have to put yourself through abstinence to be able to be grateful or to have gratitude for your partner.
Because my thinking is along the same lines of the the founding fathers of fucking America, that I trust the system more than I trust the people. You know, more than I trust myself.
Yeah, but
I
then
think,
I have to ask, what does your partner think about it?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's
I guess
definitely
if
yeah.
they agree with you and they're okay with it and they want to do it like that too,
Hmm.
then you're both in agreement. Great, do it. But if they are not in agreement with you
Hmm.
and they also would like to spend time with you, are you then gonna force yourself to abstain and force and put this, because it's a two people decision,
Yeah, of
you
course.
know?
Yeah, of course. So, which is why I'm asking you the question, not because I don't have a partner, right? So, I'm asking you the question. I feel like it would be interesting for you to bring it up with your partner. Have you? I was more so like probing to see if you guys talked about it, and how you would
Well,
feel
we
about it.
didn't talk about it.
Oh, interesting. All right, let's see if it ever comes up again in the future, and see how she thinks. 'Cause I think I'm very interested, because I've asked my other friends to talk about this.
Mhm.
Majority of my friends are like you. They more so are on the side of just be better and sleep together in the same room. Um,
Yeah, but that's not what I said. I said it's great to have that option
yeah.
depending on your life situation,
Hmm.
and it should be a decision made by both parties.
Okay. If well, what would your decision be then? Are you?
Like as I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself now. It's good to have that option. I'm not saying it should be all in one or all in the other.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, how about 5 days a week you're sleeping together and then 2 days
Yeah.
a week you're sleeping on yourself? I mean, you do what works for you both
Okay.
as a team, because at the end of the day, it's a decision that the both of you have to agree on.
Okay.
It's
Understood.
not it's not what
Let's.
it's not just what you want, and it's not just about what they want. You're a relationship, you're a partnership. It's two people working together on it.
Okay.
Capiche?
Yeah. Let's move on. Uh. So the yeah, you're basically saying it's up to the couple to decide. Uh. Uh.
What? Sorry again?
So you're basically saying it's up to the couple to decide. It's a decision
Yeah.
for the couple. And my probing
Yeah.
was to trying to get you to say, if you know, if your partner is undecided, what would your decision be? And your decision is to consult them, right?
Well, okay. In that case,
Now, what
if
would you
I have
prefer?
to make the decision,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
then I would consider how busy are they? Are they getting better sleep without me? Are they
mhm,
getting better sleep with me?
yeah.
If they are getting better sleep without me, I want what's best for them.
Okay.
I'll agree to sleep separately.
Ah, what a sweet man you are. Um. Okay, let's move on. We have, oh my goodness, it's already 1 hour 15 minutes in. I didn't think we're gonna I didn't think this would be a very long conversation, but it's proving to be interesting, at least for me. So last
I mean,
question.
I'm down for continuing.
Okay, well, it's the last question. um your is your do you, in terms of interest in each other's personal lives, um
Hmm.
do you feel that there is an imbalance? Do you feel as though you're far more interested in their personal lives than they you? Oh, oh, I feel the
Mm.
I can taste the contemplation in the air. Oh,
What does that mean, huh?
nothing. It's
Hmm.
just no, this is interesting. How about while you think, let me recall my past relationship. Um I think I was very interested in their personal life. I think in the beginning they were like he was interested in mine as well, but it's more so like towards the end that he's lost interest in he started having interest in in other people's lives. But I don't know if partially that was because I didn't share as much, or maybe it just didn't come up. Mm, I don't know. I definitely do feel like usually in my, and I'm not just talking about my ex. I'm talking about most of the people that I've been in love with. I think the relationship dynamic has always been that I'm far more interested in their lives than they are interested in mine. I
O-
feel
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask the question: what does it mean for you when they are interested in your life? Does this question play such a big role because you feel like that is an indicator of how much they care for you?
mm-hmm. I
Or does the question itself have no meaning and it's just interesting?
I think I think I would appreciate if my prospective partner is interested in my personal life, in my past or what have you. But it's not like a must, like some people they don't really care about your past, they care about the future they're building with you. So maybe to a point it's up to the person that I'm dating. But if it were just me, if you were just asking me, right, I feel like it is quite I wouldn't say it's a huge deal, but it's somewhat important. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think this is about 6 out of 10 in terms of importance. Like if they showed interest, like it's great if they do, but not a deal breaker if they don't. What about you?
I would say um, it would feel a lot nicer if they show interest in your life
Yeah.
because it makes you feel like they care, doesn't it?
I guess this is because they do care, right? If they only ask because if they only ask if because they care, right? It's a very natural consequence of having curiosity in your partner's life. You is you ask, you probe.
That's what we want to feel,
Yeah,
or that's what we take out of it. Is what I'm trying to say.
exactly. Yeah.
But then again, um, it's not necessary what it means because somebody can also just half-heartedly ask you how your day was and they don't really care.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Um,
In
and I don't think it's about asking the question in itself. Uh,
it's what you want to do with the information.
yeah,
Mm.
because like I said, it's like doesn't
Yeah.
have to mean anything.
I feel like I could share a bit of a vulnerable story about myself when it comes to this. And
Hmm.
my I think in our folly that my ex part of his love language was to try and help you rehabilitate, whatever kind of difficulty you're having. He likes to be useful, he likes to help out. And I had a lot of emotional traumas that I was going through, and a lot of times that he would offer to help, and so he would probe, he would ask about my life and things like that, and whenever he couldn't. A lot of things that I was going through was very much my own battle. It's not something he could have helped with. That it's not something he could have done anything about it. And I feel like I definitely like his feelings was definitely hurt that he couldn't do something about it. So I feel like there is, and I feel like I perhaps have done the same, vice versa. That I have asked about people's past. I've asked about the people that I care. I've asked about their lives to look for something, to look for an angle where I could be helpful, where I could help. But perhaps that kind of inquisition came from a selfish origin, a somewhat selfish origin, right? There is
Mm.
there is that feeling of, oh, I kind of I want to fix you, that kind of desire. But then, like, it's complicated because it's not that I want to fix you to make me feel good. It's more so that I want to fix you as a way of showing you that I care, right? So there, it is a very unhealthy act, but it comes from a healthy, a healthy intention, like good intention of wanting to help your partner.
Mm.
So does that
Yeah,
happen?
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, has that happened to you? Have you ever felt like you were inquisitive towards other people's lives because you're looking for an angle to help them and prove yourself valuable?
Or do you think it's also showing interest, which is also in a way showing that you care?
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess it's that I'm trying to make the argument that when you show interest in somebody, it could often be like it's not entirely altruistic. It's not all good, right? Like sometimes there could be a bit of a selfish element in there, but it's not completely selfish as well. So it's complicated. It's neither it's good and bad at the same time.
What isn't complicated in life, bro?
Fucking hell, yeah. But have you ever done that?
uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. I
You
mean,
have you
I
felt
think you know that when, especially in the school days, I would always try to force my help on other people.
oh,
Yeah,
your help? What kind of help?
like for example, Dan.
Mm.
Like I would try to force my help on him whenever he I feel like he needs help or something like that. And I remember saying like, God, I remember him saying to me like, God damn it, I don't need your help. Just fucking leave me alone, you know? Well,
Oh,
not that directly, but I remember he said something to that extent to me.
yeah, but I can't. I feel like if he hears this, he's gonna be furious. But a good thing he
Do
doesn't.
you think so?
I don't think he listens to the episodes retroactively. I feel like he does exude that energy of he has brother energy. You can't help yourself but want to help him. So I don't think it's all from you because I felt the same way about him. That there's just something about him that makes you want to help him. Like he's very deserving of help. Let's put it this way.
Maybe. But it's not just him.
Oh.
It's other people too. For example, my partner.
Mm.
And I I don't know why, but like I think it's because of my role in the last several years where I keep telling people what to do. I started to tell my partner what to do as well.
The current
And
partner
she
or
hates it.
oh, okay.
And I hate it when people tell me what to do. So I know where she's coming from. And I know I shouldn't do it like that because I don't know better, right? I
Mhm.
don't know what they should do.
Yeah.
who am I to say that? And I need to try coming it from a different approach, like I feel like I should try to catch myself to just ask.
Yeah.
Don't say, don't tell, but just ask.
Or okay, I feel like
And if you ask and they say no, or like they don't, if you ask, can I help you, and they say no, then you just have to accept it and trust that they don't need that help.
yeah. I feel like am I sick in wanting people to tell me what to do only for me to reject them?
Why is that some kind of power play?
No, I feel like it's kind of fucked up. Like I no. It's because I if they tell me what to do, right? If they it makes me feel like they care. It makes me feel like oh they literally want the best for me in the way that they know how. And I feel like oh you don't know what's best for me, but you still try. And I would feel like at the moment I would be like you don't know what's best for me. Don't tell me what to
You
do.
don't know me.
Exactly. But after I've done that, I would turn away and I would feel this bittersweetness. I feel very happy that they tried. You know, oh my goodness, am I?
Hmm.
I'm fucked up. Like this is kind of a red flag. Okay. In any case,
Ah,
let's move on to okay. Oh, okay. The previous question was not the last. I lied. I didn't scroll all the way down. Okay, so the
that's
articles
fine with me.
the very last question is that you ever feel like you're competing with your partner's friends for their attention, for their time.
It's not a competition.
And of course it's not, but do you feel like you are competing? Do you feel like, do you feel like sometimes uh, that your partner may prioritize friends over you or vice versa? Or do you like are there times where you feel like when your partner chose you, it came to her it came to her at a cost, like it was not a like that she made the decision somewhat begrudgingly, if that makes sense.
I mean, how do I say this? Yeah, I know what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but my thinking is that how do I say?
Oh, treading on thin
No,
ice.
wait, let me find the right words that I wish to say. I don't want them to feel like they have to spend time with me. If they want to spend time with me, I want them to want to spend time with me.
Okay.
And if they don't want to spend time with me, then I rather they don't spend time with me so I can spend my time doing something that I want to do without them around, without having to feel the toxic thing of I'm only here because of you.
Yeah, because you asked me
You
to.
know, it's
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's it's like I want to spend time with you because I want to be with you instead of I'm spending time with you because I have to spend time with you.
Right, right.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you were to be honest,
But what?
do you ever feel like has there ever been a case where you felt like you were competing, um, like you were forcing a decision out of them? I can go first. Like there was a time where I felt this way because because it was made explicitly clear to me that that my partner felt as though I was taking him for granted, that he just put it in a way that was very hurtful, so that it didn't hit me as well, but the message was clear. It was that because he just said that he had friends that are he said something along the lines of that do I know how lucky I am for him to spend time on me, which came off.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a dickhead.
yeah, I know. It came off really wrong, but I
I
know
mean, who the fuck does he think he is, first of all?
but I know that it just didn't come out right. Maybe it didn't come out right. I think it was the underlying feeling was that he was trying to express that. Oh, I think you're taking me for granted. Which is perfectly valid. Which I
Yeah,
think
it's
I was.
perfectly valid, and I think he's too full of himself, and he should eat a dick. Is also a valid argument. Is
But
that a valid thought to
maybe
have?
maybe I'm just too forgiving of people because I feel like he only put it
The
that
fucking
way.
audacity, bro! Like, what
I
the
know.
fuck?
Look, look.
I'm sorry, but like, if somebody says that to me, I'll walk away, man.
I know. But in
Who
his
the fuck you think you are?
look, in his defense, I
No, stop making
was
excuses for him.
okay, fine. But in any case, I was kind of being avoidant. So, I could imagine that there is definitely some built up of
Then
frustration.
he then maybe he can ask like, hey, if you're being overwhelmed and you need
Yeah,
time for yourself, then he should respect that, because that's what I did for my partner.
yeah.
I didn't want her to feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, let me be clear. Like, I don't think anybody should go out there and say to their partner, do you know how rare or how lucky it is for me to have time with my to grant you my
Yeah, I mean,
audience.
what
It's
the fuck?
it's not a good thing to say. But
It's never a good thing to say. Do you know how lucky you are to be with me? Who
mm,
the fuck you think you are?
in any case,
God damn! Sorry, the audacity. That was like, what?
wow, I got you really animated, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so now do you ever feel like you were competing, with your partner's attention? Do you ever feel like you pulled her away from her friendship, from her friends or things of that nature?
No, she. When I was okay, nah, let me rephrase that. When I was more needy, when I was more needy and I was more insecure of myself, yes, I did feel that. But now that I'm more okay with myself, I don't feel that way anymore. There we go. I rather she spend time with her friends when she wants to and spend time with me when she wants to
Mm,
than have her half ass anything.
okay, okay. Well, it seems like you're
You
on
know
a
what I mean?
yeah. Seems like you're on a pretty good track. I've definitely seen some growth in you when it comes to relationship, even though you don't share too much about it with us, your guy friends. But nonetheless, it's good to see things are, it's in terms of your attitude towards these things. You've grown a lot, you've matured a lot, and you are quite introspective, perhaps sometimes too much. Uh,
Too much? What do you mean?
I have recording footage of the last time we were playing Peak with one of your friends, and you've spent you spent the whole day bitching about it, and at one point you had to make a phone call and then you were just gone. And I remember that day very clearly, very vividly. That
Yeah, it was me on one of my worst days. All right.
Yeah, yeah, really, that was worse. Then that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, that was one of the worst days.
Mm,
Yeah,
tough times, huh?
and I would say that was when I had more of an issue. But
Mm,
I would say I've grown since then.
yeah.
Um, there were talks that we had, which we should have had. There were self reflection that I've done for myself. Like, I grew, let's say.
Yep, it is a long journey of continuing to grow. I've had fun talking about it today, and it's
Same.
like I was hoping Dan could join because I feel like he has a lot of his perspective to share as well, especially when it comes because he's perhaps the more experienced out of all of us, in terms of how far the journey has gone, which is really interesting. But yeah, I hope we could have more discussions about these intimate things, and I guess we'll end it here today, right?
Agree.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, you can check us out on Spotify if you're on the go, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.